Hey everyone, welcome back to the analytical coding. In the previous video, we have covered date and time data types in Power BI and also the basic date and time functions in DAX. So in this part 2 of date and time functions in DAX series, we are going to explore four powerful functions and they are DATEDIFF, EDATE, EOMONTH and network days. So let's get started. So coming to the first function, that is DATEDIFF. So this function calculates the difference between two dates based on a specified interval. So here in this syntax you can see that it is taking the two date values and these are the starting and ending dates. And in the third argument you can see it is taking an interval, that is unit of time. So here you can see the interval to use when comparing the dates, and this function returns an integer representing the difference between the two dates in the specified interval. So let us see an example to understand this clearly. So firstly I have created a calculated column, and here you can see I have used this DATEDIFF function, and here I have used this order date and delivery date, and I wanted to know the difference between the two dates in terms of day. And here you can see in this column it returns the difference in terms of days. And if I provide the interval as, so here you can see it is accepting all these intervals in this DATEDIFF function. And if I provide month, you can see the difference in terms of months. So that is the way we can use this in the calculated column. And also let me show you measure which I have created for this DATEDIFF function. So here you can see I have used this var, that is the variable, and given the variable name as start date. And you can see here I have created a date using the date function. So we will be covering this date function in our next video. So in this date function we are providing the year, month and day. So this function returns the date for the specified values. So similarly I have created the end date variable and returning the date diff between the start date and end date, and here I have specified the year as the interval. Let us see what this measure returns. So let me add this measure into this card. So here you can see this function is returning 4. That means here the difference between the years in these two dates, that is 2023 and 2019. So it is returning us the 4 years. And now let us see what this function returns in terms of quarters. So when we mention the DATEDIFF in terms of quarter, it is returning us the 16 value. So in this way we can calculate the DATEDIFF for different intervals specified. So that is all about the DATEDIFF function. And going into the next function, that is EDATE. So this EDATE function returns a date, that is the specified number of months before or after the start date. So in this syntax you can see that it is taking the start date and the months. So here the months are the number of months to add if it is specified as positive, or it is the number of months to subtract if it is the negative value. This function returns a new date after shifting by the specified number of months. So let us see an example to understand this clearly. So here you can see I have used EDATE function, and here I have given the start date as selected value of order date, and the number of months I have mentioned it as 2. So here I have given the positive number, hence it will add 2 months to the selected value of the order date. So let us add this as well into the card. So here you can see this function is returning 5th March. So here in this order date time I have selected the 5th January 2025. So the date after 2 months is 5th March 2025. So it will provide the exact date after 2 months. Now let us see this example with the negative value. So here I have given the date as 27th Jan 2025 and I have given the month as -1. So let us see what this returns. So actually whenever we provide a negative value, it will return the same date before the specified number of months. So here it is returning the 27th December 2024. Okay. Now let us see another use case where I have given the date as 31st Jan 2025 and I have given the number of months as 1. So actually what EDATE returns, so it returns the exact date after the specified number of months, right? But there are scenarios, right? So where we are having the, like in March we are having 31st and in April we are having the 30 as the last date, and whenever we provide the 31st value and added the 1 month, so it will return the last day of the month if we are not having that particular date in that month. Okay, so that is what EDATE returns. So let us see this example as well. So you can see this is returning the last date of this February, that is 28th Feb 2025, when we have given the 31st Jan as the start date. So that is about this EDATE function. And let us move to the next function, that is EOMONTH. So this EOMONTH returns the last date of the month before or after the adding a specified number of months to the start date. So unlike EDATE, which returns the same date before or after the specified number of months, this EOMONTH function returns the last day of the month. So coming to its syntax, so it is similar to that of the EDATE, which takes start date and months. And this function returns the last date of the resulting month, right? So let us see an example for this as well. So here I have given the EOMONTH and I have used the today value as the start date and 0 months. That means I wanted to know the last day of this month, right? So let us add this measure into this card. And you can see that, so EOMONTH for today value is 31st May 2025. Now let us see another example where I have given the months as a decimal number instead of an integer, right? So let us see what this function returns for this value. So if we specify a number that is not an integer, then the number is rounded up or rounded down to the nearest integer. So that is about the EOMONTH. Now going into the next function, that is NETWORKDAYS. So this NETWORKDAYS function returns the number of whole working days between the 2 days inclusive and excluding weekends and optionally specified holidays. So coming to its syntax, you can see it is taking the start date and the end date, and here the other two arguments are specified in the square brackets, which means these are the optional ones. So the weekend argument, so it specifies which days are considered as weekends. So we can use the numbers to represent different weekend combination. Example, 1 for Saturday and Sunday, 2 for Sunday and Monday. So we can use that numbers to specify which days should be considered as weekends. And in the fourth argument, we can provide the holidays list, like a column containing dates to exclude the holidays. So overall, this function returns an integer representing the count of working days between two dates, excluding the specified weekends and holidays. So let us see an example to understand this as well. You can see that I have given the 1st May as the start date and 31st May as the end date. And here I have given one as weekend. That means Saturday and Sunday are considered as weekend. And here I have given the holiday as 1st May 2025. Okay. And now let us see what this function returns. You can see that this function is returning 21. That means you can see in May we are having 20 plus 1, 21 working days, and first is holiday and remaining all Saturdays and Sundays. Now let us see what this function returns if we provide 2 as the weekend, that means Sunday and Monday. You can see this function returns 22 because if we consider Sunday and Monday as the weekend, an extra day comes into the working days, whose weekend is specified as Sunday and Monday. In this way, we can calculate the net work days for the specified start date and end dates. So that is about the network days functions. So that is it for part 2 of our date and time functions in DAX. So part 3 is coming up soon where we will explore some more date and time functions. So if you found this video helpful, make sure to like, share and subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching.